BSI is committed to working with our stakeholders to ensure that standards have an impact for a fair society and a sustainable world. And a key part of that is, of course, ensuring that our standards are gender responsive. That means helping to enable all standards developers to consider gender and how it impacts on the work they're doing to ensure that all the standards we're developing work equally well for men and women. But of course, we also have the opportunity, when listening to our stakeholders, to develop specific standards to address specific areas of gender inequality. Now we're going to hear from Dr. Maria Tomlinson, who helped to develop BS 30416 on menstrual and menopausal health in the workplace, a standard which helps organizations promote gender equality through addressing women's health needs.
BS 30416, which is the BSI standard called Menstruation, Menstrual Health and Menopause in the Workplace, was inspired by increasing conversations around menstruation and menstrual health and menopause that we've seen in the mainstream media, social media, and in workplaces more generally. So we started developing the standard a few years ago, and at the time people were starting to talk more about menstruation and menopause, but there weren't any kind of like specific holistic guidelines that could be used in workplaces all over the world. And so this was like a really key moment to kind of capture the kind of like decreasing stigma around these topics and increasing interest in creating inclusive workplace environments. So that's when we began on the standard. So I think we launched it at a great time. This standard helps organisations create more inclusive workplaces in quite a few different ways. It has all these different sections that you can kind of dip in and out to kind of see what's most relevant to your workplace. In the larger standard, there's specific sections that kind of explain what inclusivity around menstruation and menopause in the workplace looks like. We've got a specific table in there about intersectionality, so explaining all the different kind of aspects of someone's identity or experiences that can shape how they experience menstruation and menopause. There's also a really amazing kind of set of toolkits in the standard as well, in the annexes section, that are kind of guidance, for example, for line managers on how they can have an inclusive conversation around menstruation and menopause with their employees. We also have other sections in there that suggest what kind of like awareness initiatives you can do. So one great thing you can do to kind of make sure that everyone in the workplace is included in conversations around menstruation and menopause, not just women, is to kind of embed these policies into existing kind of like occupational health policies. There's lots of ways that the standard around menstruation and menopause can accelerate gender equality in workplaces. Of course, it depends on the nature of the workplace, but for example, we've been working really closely with Oxford Brookes, who have been using the standard, and they've done so much with it to improve kind of visibility and awareness at the university. And that's increased conversations around gender equality. So for instance, now, students there know where to access the menstrual products, and they're working with local schools as well to improve menstrual equity. So that's obviously kind of playing an important role in gender equality. An organisation may decide that gender equality is something they really want to promote, but won't necessarily know where to start. So standards, especially this one, which is free to download online, is a great start because organisations can look through them. It depends on your budget. If it's a massive organisation, you might have a big budget, but for small organisations, there is so much in that standard that they can do for free. There's so many kind of simple things to start off with. And as well, what's really great about the standard is that it shows you how to kind of evaluate what you're currently doing and build on that to create more gender equality and other kind of inclusive changes. So this standard is really going to help women who want to stay in work for as long as they want, and also have kind of happier lives in the workplace. This is relevant to International Women's Day because if women feel that they can talk about menstruation, menopause if they want to and need to, that just creates a more kind of comfortable work environment, and women can kind of ask for support that they need if they need it.
Anyone and everyone who's interested in making a difference and helping develop good practice is welcome to get involved with developing standards. And we invite anyone to come visit our website to learn more about how they can get involved. And we would especially, on International Women's Day, like to encourage any woman who's interested in getting involved to please do so.